memasuki acara selanjutnya yaitu Sharing Knowledge dengan topik Excellence in Internal Audit, Insight from the World's Top CII Score dengan narasumber Bapak John Abraham Ramos yang merupakan Internal Audit Head and Compliance Officer Trinity Insurance and Reinsurance Brokers Inc. Dan moderator Ibu Nur Imroatun Sholihat yang merupakan Governor Indonesia. Kepada Ibu Nur Imroatun saya persilahkan.
Mbak Dewi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Yang terhormat Presiden dan Board of Governors AI Indonesia, serta Bapak, Ibu, rekan-rekan member AI Indonesia yang berbahagia. Senang sekali dapat bertemu dalam General Membership Meeting 2025. Semoga semuanya dalam kondisi yang sehat. Perkenankan, saya Nur Imroatun Sholihat untuk memandu sesi sharing session ini, dan izinkan saya untuk melanjutkan sesi dalam bahasa Inggris untuk menyesuaikan dengan narasumber. In today's sharing session, we will dive into excellence in internal audit, insight from the world top CI scorer. We are joined by John Abraham Ramos, or we dearly call Poi. He is the head of internal audit and compliance officer at Trinity Insurance and Reinsurance Broker. He's also a lecturer at Far Eastern University, holding a Master of Business degree from World City of College. Before we start our discussion with Poi, let's take a moment to watch the video of him being awarded as the world's top CI scorer.
And it truly takes dedication to earn and keep the CA. At this time, we invite our award winners to join us on stage as we recognize their incredible achievements. Welcome to the stage, Rafiuddin Mohammed, joining us from Bahrain, and John Ramos, joining us from the Philippines. John Ramos earned the Dr. Glenn Sumner Student Award for earning the highest score on the CAA exam out of all students globally. So congratulations, John.
Okay, without further ado, let's invite Poi. Hello, Poi.
Hi, Iim. Good afternoon.
Hi, welcome
Good
to the IA Indonesia's General Membership Meeting. Thank you for taking your time with us today.
Yeah, no problem. It's my honor. It's my honor.
Okay, so today we'll have a moderated discussion and a Q&A with audience. If you have questions to Poi, kindly write your question in our chat box, or you can directly deliver your question later. Okay, back to Poi. First of all, congratulations on ranking first on the word for the TCI exam. That's an impressive achievement. So I'm curious, did you always aim to be the top scorer, or was it just a complete surprise for you? I'll admit first, because my CI goals was just to pass. So what about you?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a mix of different goals, Iim, no. So maybe as to the goals, it was actually my goal was not actually to really top the exam, no. My goal was actually not even to pass. My goal was actually to learn, no, because it was always my motto to continuously improve, and as part of that, when I took up the CI exam, my main goal was actually to learn, no. I want to take what I can take from the CIA exam, and I believe this was my mindset even when I was still an undergraduate, and when even I took up the CPA exam. But it was hard, but definitely my goal was actually to really learn.
Sure, that was a complete surprise for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so what was that moment means to you, become the top scorer?
Well, I remember a funny story when I learned that I topped the exam for students, no. It was 1 a.m. During the midnight, and my initial reaction was I was not happy. I was quite confused, but because I was not sure if this was really true, eh. And I was actually going to the bathroom, so I had to wake up my mom and tell my mom, Mom, is this really me? Can you confirm this for me? So and she even got mad because it's 1 a.m. the midnight, and she got grumpy. So yeah, I was confused. Of course, after several minutes, then then it started to sink in. So it was confusion, shock, but definitely it was worth it.
What a story. Okay, so let's go back to the start. I want to know what motivates you to pursue the CIA certification in the first place, because there are many certification in the world. But
Yeah,
what makes you decided to go with the CIA certification?
yeah. Well, to be honest, Iim, I'll be honest with you, I was not familiar with the CIA certification because in the Philippines, for most accountants, because I came from an accounting background, but what's more predominantly common is the CPA exam. So I was aware for the CPA exam. So, uh, but I learned about the certification when I started teaching. Maybe 3 years after I started my career, because most of my co-faculties have long designations when they were being presented, or when they were presenting during the sessions. So I got curious, what are those designations? So I looked up the CIA exam, the syllabus. So it got me curious because it somehow felt familiar from the CPA exams, but it was also different at the same time. So that's how I learned about the CIA exam, and it somehow it got me hooked, and it got me curious. So why not? Let's go ahead and take up the exam.
Okay, thank you for choosing CIA.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was the process? Could you tell us about the process from the beginning of your preparation?
Yeah. Well, in terms of preparing for the CIA, even though it's somehow similar to what I've taken up for the CPA exam, it was entirely different, right? My realization, it was different. So I had to be strategic in terms of preparing for the exam, because I was working, I was also studying, and not just for the CIA exam, I was also studying for my master's, and I was also teaching, no? So I had to be strategic in my approach. I had to prepare a study plan in advance. So I was not able to study 8 hours a day, because of course we have multiple responsibilities. So I had to be consistent in reviewing, let's say 2 hours a day, 1 hour in the evening, and during, of course, weekends, I had to study. And I had to keep that up, until I passed the three parts. So I had to be religious in following the study plan, answering the exams. So I had to discipline myself. Basically, it's a rinse and repeat of reading the materials, practicing, and definitely not just memorizing the items. You really have to understand the principles behind the internal auditing. So it really adds value, not just theoretically, but of course to what we're gonna do once we finish the exam, right? So it's rinse and repeat of being disciplined and following the study plan, and because there are really difficult times, especially when you're juggling multiple responsibilities.
Yes, I agree with that we need consistency to pursue CI. So you mentioned about time management, and I believe every journey has its challenge. So let's talk about it. Which part of the CI exam did you find the most challenging, and how did you overcome it? Was it the technical topics, or time management, as you mentioned, or perhaps a self-doubt, like what I had back then?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely that happens a lot, right? Self-doubt, especially you studied a lot, but it's not showing. But that's part of the process, no? So in terms of the part that I really had difficulty in studying, I would say it's part two, because before the recent syllabus, no, part two is about internal audit management, and during that time, I was not a manager, no, I did not handle a team. So I had no experience in terms of how what it means to handle a team, engage in terms of budgeting and planning, the engagement. So those concepts are new to me, no? Because for part one, I had a background because I had an idea, but for part two, that was new, no? That was new. So of course, I had what I did was, because I lacked the experience, right? I tried to contact some of my previous colleagues who were supervisors, who were managers, and of course my cousin who was also an auditor. He's an external auditor. But of course, how do they manage this? Because definitely when trying to answer for the CIA exam, experience also plays a lot in terms of answering it. So of course, I had to gain some of their insights, and of course, Google a lot, and definitely read some materials. But definitely the theories are not enough. So I had to get some experiences on how they were doing it, because it's hard to answer something, especially if you had not practiced it yet. So I think that's the challenge for the CIA exam. You're tasked to answer managing an internal audit function for newer graduates. Definitely, that's a huge challenge. Yeah, so you need to get some insights from senior members of the team, senior colleagues. Yeah,
Agree. You did a lot, so you
yeah,
really deserve the awards for as the top scorer. Okay, you mentioned several resources before, so I believe that the right resources are very important for everyone preparing for the exam. So, do you have your go-to resources, for example, any specific books or courses or questions bank that you would to recommend?
yeah. Okay. Well, as to the resources, definitely if you go to the review schools, they will definitely give you good resources. No, so I leveraged the review notes that was provided for me, practice questions. Of course, I looked up some test banks online and some flashcards just to test my mastery. But definitely, what I would say that was very useful for me, even now, not just when I was studying for the exam, I would say the practice guides and the global technology audit guides from IIA, because those are research papers. Those are actually something that auditors can use even in practice. No, so for as I always say to some of my students, that if you lack the experience, definitely you can ask some insights from senior members. But let's say you want to read on something, I would highly recommend the practice guides from the IIA, because it tells you how to do it. There are bases. And even for audit reports that we're doing, we even use those as part of the criteria, because those are heavily researched topics, and there is a basis. So the practice guides and G tags really helped me a lot. The G tags helped me for part three. Yeah.
Okay, so anyone who will take the CI exam, you can take note. Okay, you mentioned before that you are juggling between the preparation and also your daily responsibilities. So how did you balance that full-time work with studying the CIA? Because I think everyone here who wants to take a CI exam can relate with that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely we need to earn our keep. So definitely I do understand if you're working and of course studying at the same time. So, well, maybe my strategy was I had this mindset that I need to do it, no. So it's just like Nike, they said, just do it. So that was my mindset, no. I need to do it. Everything is hard naman eh. Whether you're going to the gym, whether you're eating the right food, everything is hard. So you have to be persistent, no, and you have to discipline yourself, because definitely, regardless of what your situation you're in, there will always there will always be some challenges along the way, no. So if you really want it, you just have to do it, no, and you have to discipline yourself, because it's not just me facing similar situation. I believe most of us, there are a lot of responsibilities, both inside the house, at their work, regardless of the situation. So if you really want it, you just need to be disciplined and consistent at what you're doing.
Right, agree. Okay. So I want to know, of course, everyone uh, who is in the journey of wanting CIA must have that tough days during the preparation. So, do you have personal tricks to stay on track during that difficult times?
Definitely. There were a lot of unmotivated days, because imagine I was working maybe 8 to 5, and I had to teach 6 to 9 p.m. Well, not on a regular basis, because I was part-time teaching. So maybe twice a week, I had to teach 6 to 9. So I really had to balance my time, manage my time. So there were a lot of unmotivated days that I don't want to study. But of course, if I told myself I don't want to study, how will I finish the exams, right? So, uh, I had to do it. But again, another question is how will you keep your sanity? How can you how you need to rest, right? You need to rest. It's not just being consistent with what you do, with the way you're studying. You also need to have periodic rest. No, just like when you're going to the gym, you don't go to the gym every day. You need a rest day, right? So definitely, just like your muscles, your mind should also take some periodic rest. No, so those are strategic breaks. Let's say, for weekends, especially when I don't have any schedule, I would study early in the morning, around 4 hours. Then, of course, uh, the support group is very important, no, just to keep you sane, no. So definitely you need some periodic rest, and this working and resting works both hand in hand, right? So you have to be disciplined, but you also have to be disciplined in resting.
Wow, that's an insight. Take a rest is as important as studying itself, right? Okay, so I want to know beyond the mindset, consistency matters, as you mentioned. So let's go a bit deeper into your daily habit.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to know what habits or routines contributed the most to your success during the CIA journey.
Hmm. I
Do you
would
have specific habit or
Yeah,
routine?
yeah, yeah. Well, basically, aside from following my study plan, well, basically that's what I'm doing, no? So I'm targeting certain topics and questions that I want to answer for a specific period of time. But aside from that, whenever I answer, no, I've been doing this when I took off my other certifications, no. I would always make an inventory of items that I have trouble with, no. Maybe two items. First item is questions that I got wrong. Second one is the questions that I got right, but I know that I was unsure because maybe that their luck plays a lot when trying to answer that question. Eh. So I tried to go back. I make an inventory of those items of I'm unsure and those items that I definitely got wrong. No, because I believe for those items that you got wrong, you need to work on those. Eh. So that's why I keep an inventory. I don't just keep answering and keep answering and keep answering. I want to know why I got it wrong. No, I want to know why I'm unsure here. So because I really want to polish my mastery when it comes to trying to study and answer for the exam.
Okay, I remember my personal story regarding this. So I also identify my gaps
Wow.
and make an inventory of them. So basically, I ask my seniors, hey, do you know why this question got
Yeah.
the right answer is
Yeah.
this? So yeah, I can
Yeah.
relate about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And and you're also doing that when you're doing the audits, right? You're
right.
identifying the gaps. Yeah, you just have to apply it to yourself.
Okay, okay, let's continue. So I want to know what did the CI journey teach you about yourself? For me, it teach me about persistence. It's teach me about, oh, I can go beyond my limits. So I want to know,
Mm.
what did the CI journey teach you about
Uh,
yourself, especially?
Well, I think my answer to that is something more personal, no? Because initially I was in external audit. So, well, it's more of the same thing. I learned a lot, but when I studied for the CIA exam, I guess what I learned about myself is I discovered what my passion is. I when I took the part one, when I was studying for part one, I realized that internal audit is not just external audit and do it for a private organization, do it for a specific organization. It's the same. No, it's not. Internal audit is broader. There's an assurance aspect and also the consulting aspect of IA. And I really think that I'm much more a consultant, no. And while I'm doing my assurance activities, I believe there's also a consulting aspect regardless if you're doing assurance or consulting engagements. Eh. So to me, my passion is really with consulting, and I discovered that a CIA really helped me achieve my passion.
Thank you for coming to the internal audit field. We are
Yeah.
happy to have you.
Yes.
Okay, that's from the personal side. So I want to
Okay.
know also, how about your professional side? Did
Mhm.
the CIA got this CIA certification impact your career?
Well, definitely, because it formalized my idea for assurance and consulting. Eh. And as I was reading through the different materials and the different items that I was reviewing, I think my business acumen actually improved. No, not just my master's. Eh. Even the CIA, it actually improved my business acumen, how to properly do risk analysis, and it helped me. I think it helped me, or it gave me the tools that I need to properly do auditing. Eh. Because before, when I was a staff, when I was executing procedures, I think that was it. Eh. But when I took up the CI exam, oh, that's why we're doing this. Oh, that's why we're doing risk analysis, because we need to prioritize. So I got to learn why we're doing it. And when you know why you're doing it, it's not just something that you're doing procedurally. No, I think you can do better if you know why you're doing it. And I think that's what the CIA really helped me technically, because in whatever areas I think we're doing in the internal audit department, we're really applying what we learned. Eh. So yeah.
Okay, and the last one for the CIA part. So, what's your advice to someone who's just starting their CIA journey? I believe some of the members of IA Indonesia is currently starting the journey.
Yeah.
Do you have any encouragement or key takeaways that could help them to stay on the track?
Yeah. So for those who just started their CIA journey, regardless if you're a fresh graduate, you're a seasoned auditor, no. I believe in terms of taking the CI exam, you need to build good habits. No, you have to build that consistency. And definitely when trying to answer the exam, you may have reviewers, they may have practice questions. Don't memorize those questions. No, definitely don't memorize their questions. It should be, how do you apply the principles of the global internal auditing standards? No, and definitely, if you're currently working, I would suggest you highly leverage on that experience, because that experience, even though you did not, probably, let's say you're too busy or what, you can leverage on that experience for you to answer the exam. Eh. And for those who are, let's say, are still lacking some experience, again, I made up for that by reading some of the practice guides, the G tags, and consulting with my senior, because definitely they're already doing it. Eh. And definitely those practice, those insight, you can translate it to the exam.
Okay, thank you for sharing your insight. So before we move to the excellence in internal audit segment, let's play a game.
Sure,
Let's
sure, sure.
we're gonna play a rapid fire question. So I'll ask you short questions and you can answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, let's
Okay,
begin.
okay.
Are you
Yeah,
ready?
yeah, sure.
Okay. The first one fun fact people don't usually know about you.
I'm very ticklish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm very ticklish.
Okay. Next, one word to describe your feeling when you rank first globally.
Confused. Remember, that's 1 a.m. Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah.
That's unpredictable reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were an auditor, what would you be?
Maybe something that builds, probably a mechanical engineer.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's quite far.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
be Tony Stark, so maybe that way something. Yeah.
Okay. CIA part one, two, or three. Which one was your favorite?
Part one. Part
Part
one.
one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And the least favorite one?
The part two, because I had no experience in managing. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Okay. Morning or night? When did your best study time?
Morning, because I'm a morning person.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And your go-to snack while studying?
Probably peanuts, because it's easy to eat. There's no dirt when you're trying to answer handout. So peanuts.
Okay. Most underrated skill every auditor should have.
I would say negotiating skills or
Oh,
bargaining skills. Yeah.
okay, nice. AI in audit, threat or opportunity?
Normally I would say the safe answer, both, but since I'm an optimist, I would say it's an opportunity.
Okay,
Yeah.
same here.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move forward, let me invite all the Indonesia member to participate in our GIAS survey. Please excuse ourselves a bit, Poi. Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan, dipersilakan untuk mengisi survei berikut. Terdapat 4 pertanyaan. Silakan dipilih jawaban yang paling mencerminkan kondisi di organisasi masing-masing. Mohon bantuan dari panitia. Jadi kami ada survei GIAS berisi 4 pertanyaan. Silakan sambil mengisi, saya akan melanjutkan sesinya. Untuk Bapak Ibu yang sudah mengisi, kami ucapkan terima kasih banyak. Saya izin untuk melanjutkan lagi, tentunya dalam bahasa Inggris. Oke, back to Poi.
Okay.
Thank you for waiting. Okay, let's explore another topic, the bigger picture. So this topic is about the excellence in internal audit. Okay, so let's take a step back. I want to know what drew you to internal audit in the first place, because you mentioned that before you are also as a consultant, I think. And yeah, what makes you want to start your journey in internal audit?
Okay. Well, I was a freelance consultant for some period of time while I was teaching, around 2 years ago. So I didn't know that consulting and assurance was something that you can mix. So I learned that when I was studying for the CIA exam, especially part one. That's why when you asked me which part was my favorite, it was part one because I discovered, oh, there's more to internal audit. No, so that technically drew me into internal audit because it's not just providing confidence. No, it's about being a partner, being able to consult with the different stakeholders within your organization. So I think I love that about internal auditing.
Mm, that's nice. Okay. If you could go back to your first year in audit, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Definitely. If I were to talk to my younger self, before I thought when I graduated, it's about knowing how to compute, it's knowing how to do technical things, no. But lo and behold, when I was in practice, it's not just about that. No? It's not about what you know sometimes. It's not about whether you're right or wrong. No. I would tell to myself, you should learn how to deal and negotiate. Remember, it's an underrated skill for an internal auditor, right? So those are the soft skills that you learn over time. So I would tell myself, the sooner that you learn how to deal with different stakeholders, negotiate with them, and being able to understand and speak their language, I think that's something that I should have done better earlier. During my first few years when I was still in external audit.
Right, right. Negotiation skill, communication skill is definitely important.
Yeah.
Okay, now the big questions,
Yeah.
because our topic is about excellence. What
Yeah.
does excellence means to you in the context of internal audit?
That's a difficult question, but I'm gonna try to answer that question. Uh, for me, in terms of excellence, I would say, it's going beyond compliance. No, it's going beyond compliance because I believe there will always be an assurance aspect for internal because that's the foundation of internal audit. But again, excellence for internal audit means for me is let's go beyond compliance. No, I think being excellent in our field means that we need to be strategic partners, no, strategic partners with our stakeholder. And under the purpose, of internal auditing is we need to help the stakeholders by adding value to them. So of course, we need to be strategic partners. We should not be police, right? We should not be policing them. We should always help them be better than what the organization was yesterday.
Okay, agree, of course. Strategic partner, value adding, yeah. Trusted advisor, probably you can add that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so many organizations, I believe, facing challenges about making their internal audit function truly value adding.
Mm.
So I want to know, how do you measure the impact of an excellence audit? What makes an audit is excellent? What do you think about it?
Mm. Well, I think in terms of challenges for internal audit to add value, no, sometimes there are a lot. Well, not I'm not gonna say sometimes. I think there are a lot of times that there are pushbacks from different stakeholders, different levels of stakeholders, and also the culture matters, the company, the traditions of the country. It matters, no. So I think when we say internal audit being able to impact, able to impact the organization by adding value. Sometimes it's difficult to add value when a lot of stakeholders are pushing back. Uh, Boy, this is not something that we can do. Boy, there's a lot of cost. Boy, this is not the normal thing that we're doing. No, and I would say it's because of the change management culture. No, I guess we need to address the change management culture. No, we need to address that at the governance level because if you see, no, every time that when we issue the audit report, of course there would be recommendations, there would be gaps. No, and if there is no proper change management, if they don't accept the change, the audit will not be truly value adding because they're not able to accept the change. Eh. So I think at the governance level, it's something that we need to address because at its core, we're trying to drive change. Eh. IA is trying to drive change. So there should be proper change management at the governance level so that when we cascade down the organization is something more acceptable. We should have the proper sponsors within the organization so that change can happen freely, So there are, even though there are pushbacks, definitely we have proper sponsors. So they can support the change management, right?
Okay, so my next question is, imagine you're walking to a room and then you can say, oh, this one is a good auditor. This one is a great auditor. So in your view, what qualities distinguish a good auditor from the great one today?
Okay. That's another nice question, Ian. No. Maybe what separates a good and a great internal auditor in today's time is I want to quote Zach Cass. I think Zach Cass is a speaker. No, he's from OpenAI before. He's a speaker in the 2025 International Conference. And when he was presenting, I was amazed, no, because he's an AI optimist. Eh. But uh, when he was discussing something similar to your question, what separates good businesses, good people from great people from the good ones currently? I want to quote him. He told us during that time, it was those that who optimizes for humanistic qualities. No, when we say optimizing for humanistic qualities, I believe he was talking to the soft skills because technically, what AI can augment internal auditors, other jobs, other people, other organization. So what should we leverage on currently is really our humanistic qualities. We should focus on what humans can do and not really what AI can do. What can we improve on ourselves? And he was talking about the soft skills, primarily the adaptability, curiosity, the courage, wisdom and empathy, because those are some of the things that AI cannot do. Eh. So if you're adaptable, if you have the courage, empathy in internal audit means being able to properly do a cost benefit analysis because sometimes you might suggest something that's not really feasible, right? So I believe though those soft skills, those humanistic qualities are what makes an internal auditor great because not just that Zach Cass, even another speaker, I believe it was Isabella Aguilera, he mentioned that internal audit will not go away. No, because they will still remain the strategic partner within an organization because we rely on their insight. We rely on their professional judgment. Again, she was speaking on the humanistic quality of internal auditors. And I believe that's what we need today.
Okay, mentioning Jaka, I remember that I'm a fan of Mike Jaka's writing. So thank you for mentioning his name.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we are the same. Okay, regarding your answer, you mentioned about AI. So I remember you are involved in your company's AI task force. I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, right.
So how can internal auditors, especially the non-tech ones, so basically, not all auditors are familiar with technology, right? So how do they stay updated without feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah. Well, definitely, I'm also not from a technical background, no, but when I was younger, I would like to uh do some things with my computer, my cell phones, anything. But I don't consider myself a technical person, no. The way we approach AI is really for those auditors trying to dab into AI, is it's really you don't need to know the technical aspect. Well, of course it helps knowing the technical aspect, but we're not technical people. Like some of us maybe, but for those that have no technical background, you need to focus on the design. No, you need to focus on what AI can do. No, because as auditors, if you're gonna walk through the system, we're gonna ask, what is it doing? What are the parameters in place? It's technically the same when we're doing audits, regardless of the process. So we just need to speak the language that we understand. No, we need to understand the design. So for us, instead of just deep diving into coding, etc., etc., even AI is already using natural language as inputs. So of course, if it's natural language, people can understand that. No, so again, it's about understanding the design. It's about understanding what can we use it for. It's about understanding the use cases we can implement it for. Of course, with proper safeguards, because AI is still something that we can understand. But technically, the technical aspect, uh, we're not IT. We're not specifically trained for IT, but there are some of us. But for some of us that are not, we have to understand the business use case, the organizational use case. What is it for? How can we use it? I guess we need to focus on that rather than delving into the technical aspect, because definitely the IT people will always beat us when it comes to the technical side, right?
I remember I always tell my friends, "Oh, you can do what you can do with
Mm.
tech. No matter how little you know, just do
Yeah,
whatever you can do because
yeah,
we cannot be left behind in this AI era, right?"
yeah, you're right.
Mhm. Okay, so you mentioned about negotiation skill before, and I want to know what soft skill do you think are often underestimated? So basically, other than negotiation skill, you already mentioned that, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But
Uh,
what do you think is very crucial in internal audit, but often underestimated?
I would say aside from negotiation, it would be efficient communication. No, efficient communication, because even me, no, I was guilty of this. When I say efficient communication, I think sometimes as auditors, no, we talk a lot, we explain too much. No, we explain too much. And sometimes the stakeholder, the process owner that we're discussing it, they're not really listening because the information is too much. We're saying too much, no? So sometimes we need to focus on or zoom in to the important details that we need to discuss, because that's the only time that they can listen very clearly, because if we, well, let's say we create an observation that's already 2 to 3 pages long, I don't think the process owner or the stakeholder will read that, right? So I think one of the underestimated skill is being efficient when we try to communicate with different levels of stakeholder, because we need to only discuss the key points, and that's something I believe that we learn as we go through the career. But for those juniors and probably some seniors, they explain too much. Even I was explaining too much. It's not about how much you were able to explain, but it's how you were able to convey and how they were able to grasp the information that you're saying to them.
Oh, so do you agree that communication skill is one of the most important skills for internal audit, and that's also one of the things that could make someone an excellent auditor? Do you agree with that?
Definitely, yes. Communication is very important.
Right, and I agree with you. Okay, okay. Regarding communications, so build trust with auditors, process owners, and your leaders, we of course need communication skill there. So, how do you personally build trust with them, especially considering what they will not always have open hand to us. They are not always agree with us. So how do you build the trust with them?
Well, what we personally do is we let the auditees or well, we don't call them auditees. We call them business partners within the organization. So what we do is we let them feel that they're part of the audit. No, we let them feel that we're not policing you. No, we're not policing you. Because even though audit is independent, objective, we're somehow making it more personal or something that they can go to, not be too afraid, because we don't want to create a barrier. No, we don't want to create a barrier with the process owners and with our business partners. So we make it a point that we're doing this because we're not trying to find faults. No, even though it's a compliance audit. No, for a compliance audit, definitely are we complying with rules and regulations? So it's sometimes black and white. But the purpose of that is really, oh, you're wrong. You did not comply with the standard. You did not comply with the data privacy principles. It's not that. It's about how can we avoid the situation in the future. We're always telling that to the business partner, because the more, of course, the more compliant we are, the less chances of us being penalized or being audited by regulatory bodies. So we make it a point that we're doing this for the benefit of the organization. We're doing this because we want you to improve. No, so that's how we're doing it. We don't want them to feel that they're being policed. We want them to be. We're doing this because we want you to improve. So that's the tone of the audits that we're conducting.
That's a nice approach. Okay. So after around 30 minutes talking with you, I realized that you are very motivated. So I want to know, how do you personally stay motivated and curious about this profession, about
Well,
this internal audit field?
okay. Well, aside from the fact that I mentioned when we were talking, right, EM, that I'm personally close to the consulting aspect of IA because I love to deal with people. I love to solve their problems. No, so I think that's aside from that, what's mainly keeping me motivated in this field. The people aspect of internal audit. Remember, we get to deal with a lot of people. We get to hear their stories. Definitely outside of internal audit, we hear a lot, we communicate a lot, we share a lot. So I think aside from the consulting, the people aspect of internal audit, when you're a people person, when you love to deal with people, having different people to discuss with, share your stories with, and especially when some of the people that you're engaging with, just like now, we're having a system pre-implementation review. We're dealing with developers that are from a different country. We got to discuss. I got to learn what they do in their country, their culture. So I guess the people aspect of internal audit, no, it's always there. So as you mentioned, communication is a very key skill in our field, no. So aside from that, you get to learn personal stories from the auditees and business partners.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah.
So, looking ahead, how do you see the internal audit profession evolving in the next 5 or 10 years? Do you see, what do you think will be different from the internal audit profession today?
Hmm. Regarding that question, I think I noticed this in the current landscape in the Philippines, no. But this was strengthened when I visited the 2025 conference, because Anthony and Terry was saying that there was a vision 2030 for IIA. Uh, and in that vision was actually how risk management was evolving, how risk management was being more incorporated into internal audit, no, how is the internal audit function being a risk partner, a strategic partner in terms of risk management, no. I think that's something that that is also true, because in the Philippines, risk management is not really a mature practice, no. But I'm seeing more and more organization employing more and more risk officers just to manage risk, just to identify risk. And I see that because I learned risk management in the CIA exam. I learned how to do it. So I think because of that expertise in risk, I see that the internal audit will evolve into something being more strategic partner. I agree with Terry and Anthony that our involvement in terms of risk consulting within the organization will definitely evolve or transform the profession.
Great, great to hear that. Okay, and lastly, before we move with the Q&A from the audience, what would you say to the young professionals who just entered the internal audit world or the senior members? You can also give advice to them if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. For the young professionals, definitely what I would say to them is don't be afraid to make mistakes. No, don't be afraid to, because some of the newer members, let's say during a walkthrough session, they would not like to ask questions. There's something holding them back because when I ask, Sir Poy, because I'm shy, because Sir Poy, I might look, sorry for the term, dumb, no, because they don't know it. But definitely that's the reason why we're conducting walkthroughs. We want to understand, no? So definitely you have to prepare and don't be afraid of making mistakes, because you're new, eh. It's normal to make mistakes, no? But definitely you should consult with your senior members of the term. And what I would say is maintain your curiosity, no? You have to be curious because that's how you can improve it. If you're not curious, how will you learn? How will you look into different aspects of what you're doing if you're not curious, no? So you have to be curious. You have to identify what you want to do, why did this happen, because your curiosity will definitely help you learn, no? And definitely it will improve your professional skepticism. As an auditor, you have to be skeptic, so you have to be curious and keep asking the right questions, no? So I guess that's what I learned when I was in a firm. You have to ask the better question, and I would always tell that to my team members, the junior members. And I guess as someone new to the field, you have to ask the better questions. And for those who are more senior members, or who are senior auditors, definitely please uh, give me some of your advices. But what I can tell is hopefully as senior members of the audit in this industry, I hope that you can guide the newer members of the team to be like what you are and even be better, because they will definitely succeed the current generation, and they will be the new leaders of this profession. So hopefully your legacy will be them.
Oh, that's such a nice advice. Okay, dear audience, if you have question to Poi, kindly write your question in our chat box, or you can directly deliver your questions now. Please ask questions to our speaker. Raise your hand first if you want to ask question. Silakan angkat tangan, raise hand, jika ingin mengajukan pertanyaan pada narasumber, atau boleh menuliskannya di kolom chat. Silakan Bapak Ibu. Silakan, apabila ada yang mau bertanya, boleh dalam bahasa Indonesia maupun bahasa Inggris, dipersilahkan. Okay, someone is raising their hand. Okay, silakan.
Boleh, Mbak, saya?
Ya, silakan. Silakan, Bu Ana.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity of question to Sean Ramos. I would like to ask regarding the implementation of GIAS, is there any significant differences in implementation in the public sector, because I work in public sector, not in the perhaps you could explain it to in non-public sector, in private sector, I mean. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you, Buika. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I thought it was Miss Hannah. All right. In terms of the implementation of GIAS in the public sector, what I would say is, since I'm not, what I work for private organizations, no, before, but I believe the IIA has a guidebook on implementation of GIAS to the public sector. I guess it's something you can take a look at, because that's a practice guide, no. But collectively as a whole, I would say, in terms of the holistic view of the GIAS, I would say it's the same way. But there are additional requirements, definitely, from your organization, from your country, because we have different rules and regulations. That's something that you need to incorporate into your methodology, because what GIAS requires is that if this is the baseline requirement of the GIAS, right? But if there are additional requirements from your organization, from your, let's say, country, you need to incorporate that, and you need to mention that in your methodology, no? So as to implementation into the public sector, for a more detailed, I believe IIA as a guidebook for that. But I would say holistically, it's the same. It's the same. Because what they did currently is actually they added public interest into the GIAS. It's something that was not touched upon during the 2017 standards. So I guess the reason that they're doing that is they're noticing that a lot of IAs are really in the public sector. And aside from that, even if you're in the private industry, in the private organization, whatever you're doing, even your internal auditor, uh, it also translates, because especially when you're doing compliance audits, ESG audits, it translates to the public, There's public interest involved, But again, I'm sorry, Buika, I'm not an expert, since I have not, I've been working for the private organization for a long time. But again, I saw this in the IAA website. There's an implementation guide. I guess it's something that you can take a look at.
Yes, thank you, Wika. So, as Bu Angela mentioned, we have separate publication regarding the implementation in the public sector. So you can download the file in the IA website. Okay, so let's read the questions from the chat box. Oh, we have several questions here. So, okay, how has your deep mastery of the CII material translated into practical value in your current job? Oh, that's nice questions. So, what do you learn from CIA and you can implement them in your real life audit?
Yeah, thank you for that wonderful question. No? I guess number one, what I would say is, I got to learn risk management practices. Now, remember, we're doing risk-based audits. When I was an external auditor, there was planning, there were tagging high, medium, low. There was no appreciation on my end. No, what's that? Why are we doing this? For what? What's this? Of course, I know the concept of materiality, but again, the mastery of the CIM materials, what I picked up is actually risk management practices, because definitely when you're planning engagement, audit planning, you're trying to prioritize, you're trying to identify gaps, you are trying to identify risk, right? And it's not just in audit planning, even when trying to develop observation, you when you identify the risk, definitely you need to identify the controls to address that risk, and because of that learning, as I was able to capture proper gaps, do root cause analysis, because when you don't appreciate something, it's difficult to do it. And that's because of the CIA materials. I really learned how to do some risk management activities, especially for audit procedures, audit methodologies. So yeah, that's something that it really helped me a lot in terms of practical executions.
Nice, because I think passing an exam is important, but how you implement them to the real life audit is way more important, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, let's continue with another question. So, hi John, how long your preparation to take your CIA? And I want to combine it with another questions. I think it's basically almost the same. So, okay. Aside the AI websites, any other reliable references for the practice guides and questions bank you would recommend? Okay, so the first one is about how long your preparation is, and the second one is about the resources you
Okay.
recommend.
Okay. Uh, for in terms of preparation, I think for me it was longer, no? It was 10 months because again, I was juggling eh. I know some people took it in 3 to 6 months because I believe they took a leave, etc. But again, it depends on where you're currently, if you're busy or not. But I believe you can do it in 1 year, all the three parts. So for me, it was 10 months because I was quite busy. So it took a lot of time. So yeah, basically, just take it at your own pace. You have 3 years now from the moment of application. So yeah, and then for the resources that helped me, I forgot the test bank that was being forwarded to me. In terms of the answering the questions, no, I think it was I learn. I forgot the actual test bank that was being sent, but I think it was that I learn. In terms of the review materials, I think IIA changed its official review from Grimes to Becker. I think some of the feedback that I received actually from my students is that think they like better than Grimes. But again, that's subjective, right? Subjective. It's subjective. So again, if those review notes are not enough, no, I really got those principles by trying to check that within the IPPF because definitely if it doesn't make sense to me, I normally check the standards. I try to go back to the standards and other related materials because it's difficult to answer questions just by knowing this is the correct answer. No, so after knowing the answer, I normally go to the IPPF. I normally go back to the review notes. So yeah, so I think it's either Glames or Becker. Some of the feedback that I receive, Becker is good, but again, it's subjective, right? So it depends on who's reading it. So that's even my motto before. Don't try to answer in terms of qualitatively what works for you. That should be the review materials that you should go for.
Okay, thank you. And this one from Buhana, the one who raised her hands
Yeah.
before. Okay, the question is, can you please give me a hint of which or how to start this journey? And I heard the successful rate to pass the exam is a challenge. How would you advise from here? Oh, so basically, how to start?
How to start? Okay. Well, in terms of starting, that's the most difficult part of going through the CIA journey. It's how to start, no? But definitely, what you can do is what I did. What I did is first I studied the syllabus. No, I studied the syllabus. I talked to peers who already took the exam. I identified the topics, then I created my study plan that works for my schedule because we have different schedules and we have different preferences. I love to study at the morning. Maybe for you it's night, over the weekend. It depends on you really. No, but again, prepare a schedule. I guess that's important having something that's planned because that's why we're doing audit planning. Same goes for this, you should have a study plan because it's something that you can go back to it. Oh, you're behind. Oh, I'm in advance. Maybe I can read some more because I'm gonna be busy for the coming weeks. So that's something that you can rely. That's your Bible. So to start off, I guess you have to prepare for the study plan. It's because it makes your life easier because that would be your internal audit methodology, but that would be your CIA methodology. The CIA study methodology, right? It's something that you can track your progress, track if you're behind or you're advanced. So yeah.
Okay, Poi, actually, we still have several questions, but I think our time is
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for everyone who asked questions, but we don't have enough time to answer. We appreciate the questions. Okay, so before we wrap up the session, I would like to invite you to share your closing remark, Boy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, AM. I'll keep this short. No. So maybe as we close, let's go back to today's theme, excellence in internal auditing. I believe you don't need to be ranked number one to be excellent. No, no, no. You just need to be. You just need to show up and be consistent. No. Showing up means creating, protecting, and sustaining value. I'm quoting the standards. I'm quoting the standards. No, we should be objective, of course, and independent. No, so even though assurance and compliance will always be the bread and butter, the foundation of internal audit. No, let's go beyond that, because I believe internal auditors are agents or drivers of change. No, let's find ways to make our organization, be it the private, public sector, no, and even our communities, be better than what they were yesterday. No, to our new auditors, as I mentioned, be curious and always ask better questions. No, so to keep on improving. To our seasoned veterans, to our battle-hardened auditors, no, please guide and support the new ones. Help them become better than what we are today, because they are the future of our profession and society. As I mentioned, they will be your legacy. No. And as I finish, I leave you with three P's. Three P's. Purpose, preparation, and persistence. Purpose, find meaning, and be deliberate. No. Preparation, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's why we're doing audit planning, right? And persistence, no. Stay consistent and keep moving forward. So, thank you. Terima kasih. Saya merasa terhormat bisa berada di sini. Salamat, sorry. I hope my Indonesian is correct, but thank you very much.
That's correct. Very on point. Okay. And many people are congratulating you on
Thank you, sir.
getting the awards, and also here in the chat, many people thank you for the insight that you shared with us. So thank you so much, Boy, for generously sharing your journey, insight, and lesson with us today. And to all of our members, thank you for your attention and participation. I hope you're leaving this session not just more informed, but also more inspired. Okay, and thank you once again. From me, that's enough. And Boy, also,
Okay.
thank you.
Maraming salamat, Boy.
Thank you, thank you.
That's Bu Angela, the president.
Oh, Bu Angela, we met at the conference.
All
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's enough from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and selamat sore.
Selamat sore.
Salam.
Thank you, Boy.
Thank you, Boy.
Hey.
Kami mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu yang sudah berpartisipasi dalam acara ini, dan sebelum menutup JMM ini, kami mengajak Bapak Ibu untuk bergabung dalam acara IA Indonesia National Conference 2025 yang akan diselenggarakan pada tanggal 27 sampai 28 Agustus mendatang di Hotel JW Marriott Medan. Dan untuk National Conference tahun ini kami menawarkan beberapa hal, yaitu 16 CPE untuk mendukung pemeliharaan sertifikasi CIA Bapak Ibu, CRMA dan IAP. Kemudian ada diskon 10% bagi pemegang sertifikasi IIA, baik itu CIA, CRMA atau IAP, periode Januari 2024 sampai Mei 2025. Kemudian akan ada program paket wisata pilihan pasca conference ke Danau Toba, Simalem, dan City Tour Kota Medan bekerja sama dengan agen wisata lokal terpercaya. Dan untuk informasi serta registrasi lebih lengkap, Bapak Ibu dapat menghubungi Sekretariat IA Indonesia atau dapat melihat web IA Indonesia. Demikian yang dapat kami sampaikan. Kami mohon maaf apabila dalam pelaksanaan General Membership Meeting sore hari ini terdapat kendala atau hal yang kurang berkenan lainnya. Selamat sore, salam sehat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih semua.
Terima
Bapak
kasih
Ibu.
Bapak Ibu.
Terima kasih semua.
semua.
Ya.
Terima kasih
Terima
semua.
kasih
Sampai
semuanya.
jumpa
Terima
di
kasih,
Medan.
Bapak
Terima
Ibu
kasih
sekalian.
Bapak.
Selalu Bapak
Sampai
Ibu
ketemu
sekalian.
di Medan ya.
Terima kasih.
Ya, Ketemu di
terima
Medan.
kasih, Bu. Kita lihat aja jam 4 kalau
Halo, Assalamualaikum. Nama saya Oka Surawibowo. Saat ini saya bekerja di PT Perdayakan Usaha Indonesia. Saat ini saya mengikuti training di Institut Internal Audit, training IAP Indonesia Internal Audit Practitioner. Saya ikuti training ini sangat bagus sekali dalam membantu meningkatkan pengetahuan saya terkait profesi saya saat ini, yaitu internal auditor.
My name is Binti Abdul Rahman and I am from Ministry of Home Affairs, Netherlands. I am very interested to come here to join the course. Happy that I can be here so that I can increase my knowledge to become more competent and improve my skills for internal auditing process. At the same time, I can network with other participants, especially from Indonesia.
PLN sebagai utility company terbesar di Indonesia mempunyai tanggung jawab untuk memastikan bahwa setiap warga negara Indonesia dapat mengakses energi listrik melalui pengelolaan teknologi yang terus berkembang. SPI PT PLN Persero menjadi salah satu katalis penggerak pengelolaan teknologi untuk mendukung sustainability bisnis PLN.
Kalau kita lihat, sebenarnya kita sebagai auditor internal itu punya peran dalam mendukung visi Indonesia Maju 2045 melalui menerapkan dari Global Internal Audit Standard ini. Sebagai auditor internal, kita tuh punya peran strategis untuk mendukung pencapaian visi nasional ini. Dan tentunya lah kita sebagai rakyat tentu akan mendukung pencapaian visi misi yang membuat bangsa dan negara kita menjadi maju.
Di PLN ini ketika kemudian menjalankan amanah negara, menjalankan amanah bagi sekalian, kita sama-sama sepakat masa depan kita harus mendapatkan negeri sekarang, kita ini effort yang kita lakukan juga besar. Jadi berpindah dari yang katakanlah yang coal base, yang gas itu ya, kemudian ke renewable itu banyak, bisa 6 kalinya kapasitas yang dibutuhkan, termasuk tambah seperti ini gitu. Sehingga memang ya, dari perspektif kita Indonesia ya ini tugasnya yang besar ya.
Audit dengan konsep continuous audit ini kita harapkan ke depan terintegrasi datanya secara real time. Jadi bagaimana nanti proses business owner ya, atau selama ini di lini 1 itu kita lakukan audit tanpa mereka mungkin merasa diaudit gitu ya, sehingga itu sudah berbasis dengan data real time.
memang tadi ada tahapan yang sudah dijelaskan oleh Pak KSPI, mulai dari RUPTL sampai nanti eksekusi itu memang beberapa tahapan yang perlu kita kelola dengan baik.
Nah, ini sama seperti yang tadi Pak Risbudi sudah sampaikan, bahwa di PLN mulai tahun 2023 bertransformasi dari sebelumnya hanya anak perusahaan menjadi subholding dan holding.
Tanggapan saya untuk acara ini, saya rasa acara ini sangat baik sebagai ajang sharing kepada sesama rekan audit internal di dalam forum II. Banyak hal yang misalkan saya dapatkan itu adalah terkait pandangan dari teman-teman itu sendiri.
Kurang dikencangin Pak. Volumenya kecilan Pak. Volumenya kecilan.
Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu sekalian, apa kabar? Semoga selalu dalam kondisi sehat.
Tadi ketika kita memahami audiens dari pelatihan ini juga berasal dari ekosistem yang berbeda-beda, sehingga di sini dari kami penting untuk menyampaikan why-nya dulu, ya, why recover-nya.
Kalau misalnya auditornya sama, kita bisa ngomong, itu kan udah melakukan hal yang sama gitu. Sehingga dari sisi cost harusnya menurut aku sih akan lebih efisien kalau satu auditor aja gitu.
Kan tadi diskusi yang kita menetapkan 3 lini bisnis untuk kita review dia punya berapa.
Jika perusahaan gagal mendeteksi kelemahan material dalam sistem kontrol mereka, sebenarnya siapa sih yang seharusnya bertanggung jawab secara etika dan profesional?
Kalau kita lihat tadi disampaikan internal kontrol secara keseluruhan akan diurus oleh yang di level kontrol. Karena tanpa di level kontrol, transactional level kontrol itu biasanya dengan praktiknya itu akan menjadi relatif lebih rawan.
Welcome to ACIIA Regional Conference 2024 Purposeful Impact.
And welcome to the ACIIA.
It's been such a pleasure and a real honour to be here and to be part of the ACIA conference this year. It's amazing to see over 700 internal auditors come together.
I am so grateful and honored to be part of the conference. The theme, impact, and this has been a tremendous conference. I hope you're enjoying it.
I'm very happy to see 700 plus professionals who share the same passion in governance, risk, and controls, building the profession. Let's continue to engage, share insight, and make internal auditors delivers value.
If you want to do transformation, if you want to do innovation, you really need to work with people and your stakeholders. Because at the end of the day, it's not the tool, it's us.
We must update the standards or follow the standard to maintain the quality and effectiveness of internal audits.
Auditors from public sector fundamentally responsible for almost everything in the country.
Kalau bicara tentang internal audit, itu kami berharap ada integritas yang terjaga dari sumber daya manusianya, baru profesionalisme.
We are going to within like 1 or 2 months, we are already ready to issue the exposure draft and also to issue the roadmap that we are committed to implement the international standard of sustainability disclosure.
Dan kami memiliki keyakinan bahwa ESG ini goes beyond risk mitigation, it is to support business sustainability. Kita juga tumbuh bersama dengan seluruh stakeholders yang berada di sekitar wilayah operasional perusahaan.